Many of the restorations that we do require a laboratory fabrication of the actual restoration. And in the past, that would require several steps. For example, if you broke a tooth over the weekend and came in on Monday, we looked at the tooth and we see there's too much of the tooth missing to actually put a filling in, we would talk about either a crown or an onlay. And typically in the past, what we've done is we'd prepare the tooth, then we make a mold of that with some kind of gooey material, and we send that off to the lab. The lab would make a model of that, they would make the restoration, they would send that back. In the meantime, you've had a temporary restoration on there, which may or may not stay on for the full time. Have to make a second appointment to come back to have the actual final restoration put in place. Now, we have a new way of doing this whole thing. And this is our new assistant. Her name is Serena, and she's the one that can make a restoration like that for you actually the same day. So in that same scenario, you would come in with the broken tooth, we would decide what restoration needs to be done. And then after we do the preparation, instead of putting any gooey stuff in your mouth, we actually capture an image of the tooth with this little camera. So we'd put this camera in your mouth, we'd take a digital impression of the tooth, would give us an image like this on the screen, which we would outline where the restoration goes, and we would actually design the restoration right here on the computer. And once we have designed the restoration on the computer, we send that information to the back. I'll show you what happens next. So once the design is completed, Serena sends that information wirelessly to this little milling machine we have here in the back of the office. We place a block like this into the machine, and then the information comes in here. Two little burrs, one on each side, mill this block out in something like 5 to 7 minutes. And we end up with, instead of a block, we end up with your final restoration. We take that to your mouth, cement it in, and away you go on your way home. No temporary crown, no second appointment.